Hey guys, how you doing? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you for visiting our YouTube channel and our website right here at atsstats.com. And what I'm trying to accomplish here today with this video is explain to you the Raymond Report in a Coles Note version. And hopefully at the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding on how I take my approach to the sports betting markets. And exactly that, it is a market. And the way I look at sports betting today, compared to, like, say 1996 when I first got into the industry, you got to look at it like the stock market. You know, the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, day traders, and that's exactly what I look at the sports betting industry today as a day trader. And the philosophy of the Raymond Report, I wrote an article here, short articles, bullet form, and I'm going to go through each and every one of these bullet form here and explain to you my philosophy of the Raymond Report. And I call it the 12 golden rules indicators. Now, whenever you handicap your games, you can't fall in love with one specific stat or one indicator. You got to string along many indicators to build that confidence into your selection. And once you have enough indicators to build up that confidence and that you feel really good about that selection, then you got yourself a play. Now, my handicapping philosophy is based on three components of sports betting. The number one, what are we betting into? We're betting into the market. You got to look at the sports betting market just like you do the stock market, or even if you're dealing with cryptocurrency, right? Like if you look at Bitcoin or any of the alts going on, like Ethereum or even Ripple, XRP. You see, there's highs and lows, right? If you've been involved in cryptocurrency or even the stock markets, say the last 10 years, there's going to be peaks and valleys, the ups and downs, and you got to know the markets you're getting involved to. And it's the same thing in sports betting. Each league is its own industry, and you got to know, and each team is an asset, and you got to know when that asset is at its highest and lowest, and when to buy, when to sell. And this is why I look at teams when they're either in a bull market, a neutral market, or a bearish market. So anytime you see the Raymond Report and you see me talking about a team that's A type team and the B, bullish cycle, that's because I look at short-term cycles, long-term cycles of each of the teams, and I'll be showing you that in a second. Right here, I put a percentage of what I weigh my opinion on based on that component. So in the markets, I take 25% of what that asset is in the market, and I consider that when I'm doing my handicapping. The next one is the main one, the percentage play. You can't handicap the last 10 seconds of a game. You can't handicap overtime, because you don't know at the end of the day if that team's going overtime, if that underdog is going to win as a 10-point favorite underdog. You just can't. You can't prepare for that. But what you can prepare is the percentage play, because each team has a winning percentage, and that winning percentage goes up and goes down, and teams can't win forever, and teams can't lose forever and cover the spread along with the over-under. And then finally, it's the past and current performance cycles. I call this the PVI, the Performance Value Cycles Index, and I base that on 25%. But to me, guys, the percentage play is what I really base a lot of my situations and handicapping on. All right, let's take a look at some of the my indicators, the golden rules. So the SBI, the Sports Betting Index, and all this is at atsstats.com. So in order to get to the SBI, I just go to dashboard, and then inside the dashboard, let me just bring up, I'll just do an example right here. So if I go to SBI, here's the SBI right here. I go to dashboard, I click on SBI, and it's going to take me right to this here. So let's go to the NFL. And what you're seeing right here is the weekly records of the straight up favorites and underdogs, over-unders, and against the spread. So as you can see, it is now week 14 of the 2020 season of the NFL. And in 14 weeks of football, only 1 week did we have a bull market for the favorites, and it was week 14. 68.8% of the favorites won. And if you look at this, it gives you an indication on what has come in like straight up against the spread right here and the over-unders. And you can see right now we're in a bear market for the overs. So a lot of unders have come in the last 3 weeks. And if you scroll down, we give you a breakdown of each day of the SBI. SBI stands for Sports Betting Index. And again, my good friend Ross Benjamin says it all the time: think like a bookmaker and know what asset and what's come in. Are we in a bear market, a bullish market, or are we in a neutral market? And to me, the neutral market is the number one thing I look for when I'm doing my sports betting. All right, let's get to the next one. Ats Season Standings. You can just go here, ATS Standings, and this here is a breakdown of all for NFL or all the leagues for that matter. You just click on any of the leagues, and let's see what's come in this year. Favorites, underdogs, home teams, home favorites. We even break it down to pick to -3 favorites and give you an indication of what's come in. Again, know the markets, right? For instance, I know there's a great, look at this on the under. Any home favorites of 10 or more this season, the under 11-1. So you know what? Anytime I see a right situation of a home favorite of 10 or more, and if the under is right and it goes along with the rest of the indicators, I'm going to pull the trigger on that, and I'm going to go with the under. All right, so that's the ATS standings. Fair market value in the line value. So here's a great example of what I'm looking for in a fair market value. So anytime I pull up the Raymond Report, say I go NFL Raymond Report, let's take a look at this weekend's game between Kansas City and the Saints. So right here, I call this the value index, or you can call it the Vegas index. You want to take this line right here, and this here, guys, is a formula that I've used for all the teams versus a faceless opponent on the stock market. So let's say, for instance, I want to buy the New Orleans asset today for December 17th. This asset on December 17th is worth -7.82 points, and I compare that to the opening line of the bookmakers or the current line. And right now, the market is telling me that New Orleans is a great value selection according to the -3.5 point line here on Kansas City. And I got Kansas City at -9.38. So you're getting great value on both these teams. So if you're looking at, for indicators, and if you like Kansas City, if you like New Orleans, just know that if you're using the Raymond Report, there is value on both those teams. Now let's do another example of, say, the Indianapolis Colts game and Houston. Now the Colts going into this game as a 7.5 point favorite. I got them listed at -5.38, so they're overvalued. And again, and this value index is based a lot on the market perception, the psychology of the betting public. They always want to bet the team of the hour, right? And Houston, low confidence but high rewards, and we have them at 4.85. So you're getting 7.5. So you are getting good value on the Houston Astros at baseball, Houston Texans. But that's how I use the value index to see if I got any line value in my selection and see how the general public is thinking, right? Normally a team like Houston that's going through a little bit of a down stretch, they're going to have low public confidence. And normally those teams that have low public confidence have the best value. Line moves. Let's take a look at the line moves on these games. So what you want to do through the Raymond Report, if you just click on line moves, it gives you the line moves on the opening and closing or the current situation. So this total opened up at 52 and it's now down at 50.5. So the public is telling you, or the line is telling you, that the money is coming in on the under. But keep in mind, just like any stock market, the Dow Jones, NASDAQ, or even in cryptocurrency, there's going to be traps. There's going to be head fakes. I used to, you hear it all the time. Well, follow the steam, follow the steam. Yeah, but be careful when you follow the steam because it could be a trap. You hear it, a bull trap. You hear a bearish trap. The head fakes. You got to be careful when you follow the lines because you just don't know if it's going to pan out for you or not. And it's just, again, you got to be careful when you're following line movement. The cow, the chance of covering in Kogo. So if you look at the Raymond Report, you see right here, this section right here, you got the chances of winning. Now this is based on when, say, Indianapolis is a home favorite and the totals between like 49.5 to 52.5. There's a 3-point difference in the total formula. We give you what the history of Indianapolis has done in that situation as a home favorite when the total's this, and they're coming off a win. They're 80.4%. So it gives you a little bit of what their history on that asset when they're in this situation as a home favorite, totals between a certain range, and they're coming off a win or a loss. That's what their chance of winning is the next game. The chance of covering, same situation, same formula, 36, but we use a different, so in NFL, in any spread sports like that only go from a week, like say from NFL, college football, CFL, that only play once a week, we use a cycle of 3 compared to the season-long cycle, and then we come up with a formula to do that. And then for all the other daily sports like Major League Baseball, NHL, NBA, 7-day cycles. Kogo, the chance of game going over, 50%. So this way, again, indicators. We're looking for right indicators. And if you get enough indicators, you got yourself a nice little play. The law of average. So there's two ways of we calculate the law of average. So right here, if you look here, there's a check mark. Now the way this works is like this. You want to play on a team that lost against the spread the following week versus a team that won against the spread the week before. And as you can see, Indianapolis won last weekend against the Raiders, and Houston lost against the Chicago Bears. Now, the mindset and the reasoning here is because everybody saw Indianapolis crush the Raiders, and everybody saw how Chicago beat Houston last week. So what do you think the general public is thinking? They're thinking, you know what? I'm going back to Indianapolis. You don't think the bookmaker knows that? They know that. And that's why sometimes you got to be careful of those traps. But the law of average, and I also have another tool right here. This is a new tool that we just created, and it's going to be on the website. It'll be under tools. It's a great tool. What you want to do is look here. You can go AFC, NFC, and how teams have done off a win and a loss. So, for instance, if I look at San Diego or LA Chargers, I keep calling them San Diego. Look at their over-under record coming off a win in the last 4 years. 8-21 when they're coming off a win. So, and look at this, coming off a win, and then when they're on the next game, the last 2 years, 1-7. So again, law of averages play a huge role when you're looking for indicators. Streaks, everybody knows my rules on streaks. You either bet with the streak or you get off the streak. Don't even touch it. Anytime you see a team that's on a 3, 4, 5, 6 and up game winning streak, 3-game winning streak is the minimum. You can talk me on or off it. A 4-game winning streak or losing streak, then you're either on it or off it. That's my rule of streaks. You don't touch streaks because it's that asset is in a performance cycle, great performance cycle, and you don't want, they're at their peak of the season, especially in each win they get, because you just don't know when teams are going to go on a winning or losing streak. Strength of schedule, very, very important. And you see here, I put the types. So the A types here, those are my market components. My B types, those are my percentage plays, and the C types, these here are the performance cycles sections. So I'm back here at strength of schedule. So in the Raymond Report, you're going to notice SOS, strength of schedule. As you can see right here, C type team in a neutral cycle. So they're either 1-2 or 2-1 in the last 3. C means that they're either 50% or lower in the standings up against an A type team that are 60% or higher, and they're also in a neutral cycle. And neutral, when you ever see neutral, bearish, or bullish, it's just the public perception, the public psychology on how people feel about those teams, right? You see a team in a bullish cycle on a 7-game win streak, the whole world's on them, right? You see a team on a 7-game lose streak, everybody's against them, but there's more value on that team. So whenever a C-type neutral or a C-type team plays an A-type team on the road, like Houston here, Houston is 0-4 against A-type teams on the road, 1-3 against the spread, 2-2 against the number. And if you go inside the NFL or a dashboard and you go to the PVI SOS right here, and let's say we go to NFL, and let's go back to that Indianapolis game. So Indianapolis, this is the strength of schedule. So whenever Indy's at home against A-type teams, here's their record. 1-2 against the spread, 1-2 straight up, 2-1 to the over, and it gives you the average score and the average total. So this is a great tool for strength of schedule when you're doing the Raymond Report to see how that team has done against other teams, and depending on the cycle they're in and throughout the season, right? Now the computer forecast. Is it's an interesting feature here because we tell you what the average score of past history between these teams in exact situations that we put the program, the formula in, and it spits out what the average score is. So again, anytime you see the computer score, it's not us giving the final score. We're going back in the database to get all the situation involving Green Bay in this spot, coming off a win when they're the range of home favorite or home underdog, whatever, and the range of the total, and then we give you the average score, and it's pretty accurate. If you've been following the Raymond Report computer pick, you'll see that it's very, very accurate. Computer forecast, days rest. So here's another good one. Teams are playing so much sports these days in short times, and when you got these cycles, like for instance, look at Green Bay here. They're on 5 days rest as a home favorite, and if you see the L and the T, so the L means that's a league trend. So any home favorite on 5 days rest this year in the NFL are 5-8 straight up, but only 2-11 against the spread, where road dogs of 5 days or less are 2-6 straight up, 5-3 against the number. So again, good factors to consider when you're doing your handicapping. Looking at let's say that Monday night, tonight's game, the Thursday night football game, teams on 3 days rest. Look at this, 2-6 against the numbers for home favorites. Now this will change, right? The home favorite, home dogs, but you got to look at fatigue. Fatigue plays a huge role. You get, especially in the NBA or NHL, you got teams playing 3 games in 4 nights. That takes a toll on the human body, and it's going to change the mindset of the public. And I always say, the line will always tell you if there's something wrong. Like, people are saying, where's your injuries? You're not talking about injuries in your factors. The line will tell you when there's an injury. You don't think if Aaron Rodgers is injured for the Packers, that that line to say against Carolina this weekend is -10 to maybe -7, right? So people are going to say, why is it -7 or -6.5? The line will always tell you when there's a main factor injury, and that's why it's not in the indicators right here. Okay, here, DOPT, doped. So this stands for defense, offense, penalties, and turnovers. Anytime you're breaking down sports, and we look at it from a point spread view, or, you got to look at also the performance on, say in football, the offensive performance, yards gained, the rushing defense, the rushing offense. Penalties and turnovers are a huge factor in sports. So what you want to do here, let's say we go to the Raymond Report, go to NFL, and you can get all these stats anywhere online. This site does a really good job, profootballreference.com. These guys are awesome. And what you want to do is you take the offense and defense, and you break down the numbers from the, I'll give you a good example. Looking at tonight's game, there's a game today, is December 17th. You got the LA Chargers against Las Vegas Raiders. Now, passing offense for the Chargers, look at this. They're averaging on offense 3,515 yards, and they're ranked 4th in passing, and they're up against a pass defense of 25, ranked in the Las Vegas Raiders. So those are the matchups you want to find. I call those the nuggets, those gems that you want to go get. Anytime, and to me, guys, anytime you got a good rushing offense up against a poor passing defense, like we saw a couple weeks ago when Baltimore faced Dallas, #1 rush team up against the worst pass rush defense. It was easy money, like that the lineman said in the end zone, right? So those are things you want to consider. Penalties and turnovers, takeaways, giveaways play a huge role also. And then the last one, and this one here, gut feeling. What is your gut feeling? Sometimes you're going to go through all the indicators and you're not going to feel it, but the gut feeling will tell you, and your instinct, your fundamental handicapping instinct, and I throw that under the component of luck. You need a little luck, a little lady luck sometimes in your life when you're sports handicapping. So guys, that was the Raymond Report in a nutshell. The 12 golden rules indicators. And again, you can get the Raymond Report each and every day right here at atsstats.com. This article is going to stay up here at the website. This video will be here and on our YouTube channel. And again, I'll post it right here. But these are the indicators you want to look at when you're handicapping sports. And hopefully, you get enough of these indicators going your way, you'll get a clear picture on what you want to bet on that weekend. All right, folks, Ron Raymond here. This was the Raymond Report, 12 golden rules indicators, and hopefully I was able to give you a bit of a explanation how the Raymond Report works. And again, if you are interested in the Raymond Report sports betting tip sheet, you can get us right here at atsstats.com. If you have any questions about the tip sheet or the Raymond Report, you go to our website, atsstats.com. Hit the contact us button, and then leave your detail. This little pop-up box will come in. Put in your message, your email, your first and last name, your question, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. As always, shop for value, play those percentages. We'll see you back shortly with another Raymond Report.